question is, if you had a hydraulic press machine, what would you crush in it and why?
Sound.
You know what I'm talking about, like the
Yeah. I've seen
yeah,
videos.
yeah.
Yeah. What the hell? What would it be? Oh,
I was saying to him, I was like, you can either go really literal with this and just crush something you hate, or you can go
yeah.
very metaphorical and like crush like systemic problems and things, you know.
I don't know what I'd crush Twitter probably.
Okay,
Yeah.
smart. Yeah, I think
I just think that platform is just disgusting. And in
yeah,
terms of, in terms, not even life in general. It's just I don't. And now, as I've grown older and understood me, the person, I just don't understand why society has decided that you need to let everyone know what you're doing per day, like every second. I just I don't like that everything that we live for, everything that's put around us, is for us to share every waking moment we're on this earth, which I don't want to. And and society and culture has made it so if you don't do that, you're made to look like the outcast. You're not right. Like, oh, why aren't you on Twitter? Why aren't you on this? And social media just destroys people.
yeah, it
And I
can
just
be.
it's a very, because it's not regulated, even though they say it's not regulated at all. And yeah, I would crush social media in general, because it's addictions that it's created addictions that we, you know, are not taught about. I guess they're starting to be taught now in schools and things, but phone. I would crush a phone as well, because I hate mine, because I'm addicted to it. Like, I'm
Me too.
addicted to
Me too.
it. And it's funny that we all say we're addicted to this thing, but then they're created in excess. Like, it's weird. If we were to say we're addicted to like, I don't know, if the whole world says they were addicted to Coke, it would be a completely different story. But it's
It'd
the
be fun
same
for a
thing.
very short period of time.
Yeah, I've never ever done it, actually,
I
but
know.
I don't like. It's weird, because these things create money in a legal way. There's They do all they can to not regulate it, and I generally feel like it's, yeah, the worst things ever invented and the best things ever invented were phones, because it's made us incredibly disconnected in such a connected world.
Yeah, I think there's some sort of ultimate irony in that, but do these concepts find their way into your music and the creative process? And is that in a way that you enjoy writing about it, or I'm making the assumption that maybe you have done, but
No, it's good, because yeah, I write my lyrics based upon how I am, based upon the life I'm living, and I try and be as metaphorical as possible and not as straightforward, because I like the songs I create and the songs I listen to. I like to not know what they're talking about. I like to make my own assumptions of it, and I think that's the best way to create art, is to not shove something down someone's throat, and you just like, here's something that you can take, and can help you through, and whatever you need to get help from. For example, Deftones, one of my favorite bands of all time. Of
I was
recent, like,
I was
yeah,
going to
yeah,
ask you about Deftones. I thought I could hear some of that.
yeah, because I didn't really listen to Deftones for so long, and then one day it just hit me, and my favorite band of all time, and going to see them at Download. It's going to be great.
Oh, nice.
And
Yeah.
it's just listening to that. You never know what's truly happening in terms of lyrics, and I know, when he goes into the studio, he creates the lyrics when he's there. I don't know if he does that now, but I've seen that's happened, and I don't do that, just because I don't we don't have the budget at this moment in time to have the time needed to do that. But if I could, I would come to the studio and write the songs based on how I'm feeling at that time, because I want our songs to be, what's the phrase, to be a moment in time, and we grow from each record, each song, because yeah, Love Is Noise is as much me and Tom as it is the music. So
What's
yeah.
So I had a sort of a I've obviously listened to your music and actually looking at your photography as well. I was looking at both these kind of creative outlets that you're kind of working with, and something I've noticed in certain musicians, and I think I'd try and do it myself. And it's something that I think is really cool. Like I say, I'm doing it myself. It's really cool. Something that here's my kind of pre-judgment about you before having chatted to you at all of the 5 minutes before we spoke on the pod, in the bit that we're recording, is that it seems like you like to find a balance, and tell me how right or wrong I am about this. You like to find a balance between something a bit different, but something familiar in its own way. Because, like, for example, the music nerd side of me was listening to Deja Vu, and I could hear in the sort of the verse section, I guess, it's in sort of a 6 and then a 5. It's like an 11 feel, right? But then the hook is it's a hook. Like, it's you hear some familiarity. And I was having a quick look at your photography, and it's like it's not completely abstract, but it's not straight down the line. You know, it's not like portraits. It's not like when I was looking at like your band shots. They're not just here's the image as the eyes see it kind of thing with a bit of tinting or whatever. I don't know how good that assumption is. That was just my sort of how I saw your process. You know.
No, that is a good assumption. Cool. You've read me well. Because
1 in 100 done. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Because I believe art it's a process that you need to look at it in a different sense. So anything, as I've learned as I've grown as a musician and an artist, I guess you could call me, I genuinely, I try to do completely what someone else isn't doing, but then just being a human, part of that, I'm inspired by the things I listen to anyway. So there's many times I've gone, I'm going to try and make something completely not this, and then inspirations creep in, because you can't, like, art is copying if you think about it in that way. Like, even if you don't think about it in that way, someone has probably done what you've done before in a different way, and you try to copy that, and because you're not that person, you've then created something new, which, you know, is that's why art and culture can just change forever. You know, how, I guess you could say, as a band, we're influenced by Deftones, which we are, but we don't sound like Deftones, we sound like Love Is Noise, but obviously there's influences, and that's how music can move forward. And when music doesn't move forward and genres get stuck in time, it's because that genre continued to just do the same thing and copy. And, you know, the best music and the music that stands the test of time is music that's been different, but also had that familiarity. Because if you listen to a song and you've never heard anything like it before, your brain most of the time is going to go, I don't like this, because it's not familiar. So for people listening, if you were to go back and listen to the biggest songs of all time, you will be able to hear something that you're familiar with. If people were to go back in time and listen to, say, Elvis Presley, right, and say you were born at that time, you will probably be able to hear music from a different artist in Elvis Presley's music, which is, you know, blues. That's how rock and roll was created. And that's what has moved forward in history. Someone with some character, some pizzazz has gone, okay, I'm going to take this that I like, that I've listened to as I've grown up, I'm going to add my flavor to it. And that's how, say, David Bowie's created. That's how Queen's created. That's how, you know, Nirvana's created. That's how Foo Fighters are created. And then going to go ahead, that's how Pantera was created. That's how, you know, and then Linkin Park, Deftones, all these big bands, they have their style, but it's not completely them, because, you know, everything's a remix. Life is a remix. You know, we're as humans, we're living a life that someone else has already lived, but we just came out of someone else's body, kind of thing. And I'm not really spiritual, what I'm trying to be, but I do believe that, you know, we move, something moves between people, because there's two. When we tour and when I've toured, I've seen too many people who look very similar to me for us to not be connected in some way.
When you what do you mean? What do you mean by that exactly?
As in, like, I believe somewhere that every single person on this earth, there's someone else who's very close or similar to how you look, because I've seen it.
Well, for me, it's Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, that's bad, but that's true.
I take your point.
True.
I'm not trying to sort of
no, that's good.
Yeah,
because one of my best friends, literally, we look alike, and it's just crazy. I know I've deviated from the original question, which I'm still trying to keep in my brain.
Yeah, let it go wherever. That's the whole.
Yeah.
I honestly, that's when I enjoy these the most. Like, so.
Yeah, but that's literally how if you don't push yourself to do something different, or if you don't push yourself to go somewhere you've never been before, if you don't push yourself, if you keep keeping yourself in, you know, the same job, the same, this is comfortable, I'm going to do this, it's like you're never going to grow as a person, and and that's what I think is where people regret their lives, because they didn't do the things they wanted to do. So, for example, how is someone supposed to know that if they say no to this, say someone's asked them to do this drum gig, or someone's asked them to do this art, if one day they go, oh, I don't really want to, and then say millions of years pass, and somehow you see what would have happened if you would have done that, and it was amazing, you would look back and you'd be like, bloody hell, like, why didn't I do that? And it's a bigger concept, but I'm not comfortable with being comfortable, and it's annoying sometimes, but that is what creates artists, and that's what creates profound art. That's what creates change in society. That's what creates positive change. Also negative if that can happen, but you know, if people wanted to stay where they were, we'd still be cavemen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And nothing would change. Cavemen, they wanted to go to other places. They did it, and then they found a rock, and then they hit the rock, and then that created a mallet, and they did whatever that happened back then. I wasn't there, but that's how it's progressed, and that's the same with art. You know, if it's with photography, with me, I don't know many like profound photographers, because I'm just getting into it and learning, but it took that whatever person it was to go, oh, color photography is cool, like it doesn't need to be black and white anymore. And then that person took a leap of faith and went, oh, I'm going to do color now, and I'm not going to do black and white. And then here we are, we live in a color world. People thought that black and white was what it was going to be, and then someone went, nah, I'm going to do something different, and here we are today.
Could you describe any leap of faith moments you might have had in your life?
One for me was becoming a vocalist, to be fair.
Yep.
That's a ballsy move, going from a drummer to a vocalist, and literally going for an instrument where you're stuck in front of something, to not speaking to a crowd, to then being a front man and talking to a crowd. That's a big leap of faith I've done. What else have I done? I recently have just been, you know, trying to speak to more people, trying not to be secluded with myself, trying to say yes to more things. The photography as well, it's like I literally learned over lockdown how to do photography, because I had to create art through a camera, and I wanted to do that. And so I literally have just been asking all my friends, do you want photos? And that got me to, in such a short space of time, be able to shoot the Ritz in Manchester. That was big. I've had other things I've had to turn down because of just my life situation. And it's amazing that I've had these opportunities, and I wouldn't have had these opportunities if I didn't just do it. If I didn't just go, doesn't matter if people don't like your art, they're not. Someone will like it in the end, even if it takes 10 years, 20 years. Be yourself. Don't try and copy other people. You've got to have that bit of familiarity in there. Have your inspirations, but make sure you're doing you. And that's the biggest leap for me, actually, learning to be myself and not trying to please everyone.
Yeah,
because pleasing everyone is where anxiety starts happening and the depression starts rolling in, and you start, worrying about every little thing because you're not worried about yourself, you're worried about the next person, and that's where you can get into a spiral, and it gets to a bad place. And I've been in that bad place, but just learning to love yourself and learning that you need to be yourself to get anywhere in life is the biggest leap of faith for me.
Yeah, and did that kind of sort of leap of faith, if you like, and not just that one necessarily, but any step forward, have you found that that's helped you to get out of that sort of said bad place? Is that?
I guess so. I'm still coping with a lot of stuff. Been through a lot, but it's moved to other things now, so I can chill with other things. Because when I was moving in the industry, when I was young and then moving up, when you start doing well and you're young, you then start to think that you're the bee's knees and you're the fucking sickest, and your brain starts you start getting an ego. And I'm very lucky that my ego was very, very small, and I just was like, "Cam, what you doing?" And then just me and my mates just chatting. Was like, what's the point? Because music is music, and it's not a competition. And learning that, if someone else does well, that's a good thing. If your mates do well, it's a great thing. Like, why are you stressing? And to be honest, I used to stress about those types of things. And as you do growing up, and when you're in the music industry from a young age, you learn a lot very quickly. And I've learned a hell of a lot. I feel like I'm like 40 years old and I'm only 24. So
we're the same age.
Yeah, there we go. Big up. And the amount I've learned from just being around good people and getting rid of the bad is I'm very, very lucky to be around the great people I've ever met in my life at this moment in time. It's just music. The music industry is very shallow, but also very welcoming. But you've got to go through it to be able to find those welcoming people and to get rid of those who drag you down.
Yeah, I can certainly resonate with the thing. So you were saying about the finding it difficult seeing other bands and your mates even is doing so well, and I couldn't even count the amount of times I've seen my friends do well with something, and you're like, good for you. Oh, I wish that was me. But the thing I found, and I don't know what your experience with this is, but I found that if I'm, my friend might get a really cool gig, I'm like, oh, fuck, I wish I had that gig. Or they might get a radio play somewhere that you're like, whoa, that's cool, I wish I had that. And But I found actually the moment I talk to those people about it, and I don't mean go like, oh, I wish I was you. I mean, talk to them just just be friendly with them and make conversation and try and connect with them in some way. I always find that you see the human being behind the success that is had there, and you realize that success it's great and it's important, but we're all human beings experiencing things at the same time, and I don't quite know how to explain it, but that success it's great, but actually there are a lot more things to life. And I find every single person I've talked to who's had success from even just a slight sort of bump up from where I would put my band at versus right up at the top, you always hear that I feel like we all experience things in a very similar way wherever we're at in life,
Yeah, that's very true.
In being in sort of relative, it's why the story of sort of Chester Bennington I thought was quite sad, in that he in theory had it all, according to a lot of people, and even that sort of wasn't enough. So that put a lot in perspective for me,
Oh yeah, definitely. I've been through it recently. My friend Ryan, rest in peace, died a few days ago, and that hit me. The amount of people who loved him and he didn't know that is such a shame, and it's being there for the people you love before they're gone, which is so key. But in a world where we're so as I said before, so disconnected, in the most when we can literally just go boom, hi mum, how you doing? Oh, hi mate, how you doing? In 2 seconds, we are so disconnected. It's absolutely crazy. And I just think that, going back to that question of everyone goes through the same things. We literally go through the same things. So if you see someone go, oh yeah, just got this label deal, well, whatever, if it was a year, 6 months, 12 months, could have been the worst time of their life. But that post doesn't mean that they're feeling any better. It just means, that something's working, but there's a human behind that. And it's a thing that I find is that because people see music, it's this thing, people see people doing well as a negative thing, and they see that as something where, because they're not getting that, they're going to shit on them. So you see it with celebrities, right? You see it all the time. It's like, with no fault of their own, they're smashing things, they're doing bits, right? If you took away anything they're doing, what they're doing, they've found a way to be successful and get to a point where lots of people know about them. And because of that, people despise that person. When with me, now that I've grown and I've learned and I've changed my mindset, I see that as inspiration. I see that as like, bloody hell, if my friends smash it, I'm like, bloody hell, that's fucking sick. And like, I'm going to do that as well. I'm going to be up there with them. I'm going to be with them, celebrating what they're doing, and then they'll be with me when I take them as inspiration, and we'll be in a different direction, or we may be in the same direction. Like, community is key in the music industry, where community is not wanted. Like, everyone goes about a seed, and it's like, when you actually understand and they're in it, it's not that. And there's a few bunch of people who are great and they're amazing, but there's so much of this and that, and it causes so much strain on people, on your friends, and then it can get to the worst. And when someone says something on the internet, or someone goes this and hits this punchline that they think's funny, and then they'll go to work the next day and eat their cheese sandwich and not care about it, that's going to affect that person that you said it to way more than you would ever think. And it's never been a thing for me as a grown adult to go on the internet and shit on someone unless it's warranted to the nth degree. Even then I feel weird, because it's like,
what does it achieve?
Like it's like, how do I know? Like, well, I don't know anything. I'm just a guy. Who's read something, and I'm going to say something because I know everything. It's like, no. And then this causes, it causes problems. And I think the day we as a human race stop putting people on pedestals for reasons which aren't like, so I don't idolize celebrities. This is my take on life. I don't idolize celebrities. I don't put them on this pedestal because I think they're better than me. That's not part of it, and that's what society wants to put on you. It's like, I'm better than you, so you need to buy my product. But I generally don't think any of these celebrities really want that. I generally feel like it's all the the money makers that put this onto us. But a lot like, for example, me and my girlfriend watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and from the outside look, you can feel like, bloody hell, they've got everything. They're knobheads because they've got money. Like, well, they have money. They obviously don't care about any of us. But what they have to go through, most of the time, 99% of us wouldn't want that. It's like, you can't go outside. You can't do anything without eyes on you all the time. It is, people go, oh, I want fame, but then when you have it, you don't want it. the amount of like people who have a lot of eyes on them, most of them have probably gone. I don't know if it's fact, but a lot of them probably gone. I want this, you know.
Yeah.
Like it's just society in general, and its fixation on wanting, on they're not comfortable in their life, so they want to make someone else's life worse when it's not warranted or based on facts or based on I just don't understand it. I've never wanted to just rip on someone when I know what's going on. It's a very weird thing. And like people who get on music, and I'm like, okay, so sometimes in music there is bad music, right, to you, but to someone else that's the greatest thing they've ever heard. So why put a negative standpoint on it, which then makes that person who likes that music feel bad for listening to it?
Yeah, well, I think there's two things that you said that I thought were particularly interesting. You said a lot of things I thought were interesting, but
a lot there, yeah. I said a lot.
No, but it's great, and I think so one thing that you said was a word that I think that you used that I think was particularly relevant was that you said that it doesn't mean their life's better, it just means it's working. And there are lots of things that work that aren't necessarily better than other things.
The phrase that I have for that is, I think it was Einstein that said the definition of madness is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And it's literally, well, I'm a definition of that, of the opposite of that. So I go, this isn't working. Okay, I'll try something else. I'll change the color theme. I'll change, we'll do a different style of video. Or like, I'll never do that for music, because I'm not writing music for the listener. I'm writing music for how the listener will feel while listening to it. But I'm in the mindset of what would I feel if I was listening to this music? How would I feel? When you create art for someone else, you can always, most of the time, you can tell. You can tell that. And I've heard stories of like, now that people are writing music for a certain timestamp to get on the Spotify playlist, because that's how the algorithm works. And I'm like, you're not enjoying that.
No.
Like,
that'd be pretty soul crushing for me. I wouldn't want to write. For me, the ultimate deal breaker in any, as a band, we're kind of trying to explore label options. Like we've kind of done a bit of growing, and we think that's looking like for the next release. And I think the ultimate thing for me is if there's any point where creative control goes away, I'm not interested really. I could understand it. Say they said, okay, well, you're going to write an album. We need 3 songs that, in particular, that will be like your hits, if you like. And it's like, that wouldn't annoy me too much. Cause I think, and only purely by chance, because I think I would naturally write some more catchy kind of songs out of my range. But that's coincidence more than anything.
But it's more like just write an album that's all hits. Then,
yeah, exactly.
If you think it's all hits, then you can give them the whole record and go, well, here you go. Choose whatever song you want. Obviously, you'd have ones that you feel are better. But a thing that I'm never going to do ever at all through my whole career, and I'm going to hold myself to this. And if anyone listens to this in 40 years' time and I haven't done it, then fair enough. Come talk to me somewhere, wherever I am. Hopefully not on the internet, not with a phone. I'm just vibing. And hopefully a headline downloads. But
the small things.
The small things. You got to think big. Even if you don't hit the big thing, you would have hit something that's a little smaller. That's still a vibe, and that's why I always dream big, think big, and then whatever comes before it is still a vibe, because that's how I always want. But and I've spoken of what I thought I was going to say.
You were saying what you would never do in your career.
Yeah. So I'm never going to write music that is for a purpose. Like, okay, it's different if you're writing for like, you're going to be a soundtrack to a film. That's a completely different story. But I'm never going to write music that is to either hit a certain timestamp because that makes money, to write a song because it fits a certain audience. Not going to do that. I'm not going to write. Well, this is me and Tom. I don't know if Tom feels the same, but he most likely will. We're not going to write music that even comes close to, trying to hit algorithms and this. It's like, that's the problem with society. Like, writing a song because you want someone to dance to it on TikTok. If that's what you want to do, fair enough. But that is where art gets lost, because that's where long-term, like, people will look at this in 1,000 years and go, whoa, this is stuff that's what I want. I want to be known. I want to have a legacy, and I want it to be known for years, millions of years to come. Like, for example, Da Vinci, how long has he been dead for? Bloody ages. And we're talking about
at least 20 years.
At least 20 years. Man was Woodstock 1970 something. I don't know. But like,
good
that's
film
who
too.
I want to be. Yeah. True.
Sorry, I'm just totally derailing your. Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Don't worry. I love it. I don't want to be. I don't want to be someone who is on his deathbed and goes, I regret anything. I regret this. I regret that. I'm living life to do everything, and I want to know that I've tried my hardest to do what I've wanted to do. And I'm literally that's all I'm living for. Because that's how it should be. Just be the best person you can be. Appreciate the people around you. Show the love and support that you need to do. Big up your mates. Realize that life is so short, so you should live for each moment. That's all you can really do. Because if you're stuck on your phone and all you see is this and that, you doom scroll and you find happiness on hitting on people, it's like you're not living a life that you're happy about. You're trying to push your problems onto someone else, and I generally think if you live your life to be as negative as possible and cause harm to other people, then you need to go and look at yourself and go, do I need to put myself out of this situation and go and talk to someone to fix my issues so that I can come back in to society and enjoy my life? And there's many things that are chemical, and many things that you can't help. But that's why you need to surround yourself by the best people who, if they can see that you're living a life that isn't great for you, they'll come and go, come on, mate, come on, let's go get something sorted. Because a support network is key, and no matter what you see on that phone, no matter what you see on the internet, most of the time it's not support. Because how many of your internet friends could you count on how many of your internet friends could you ring in a crisis moment? And a lot of the time, it's probably none. Probably about 3. And that's what I believe. I keep my corner close to me. I have great relationships with the least amount of people as I possibly can, because a lot of people are very untrustworthy, and you've got to be surrounded by people who big you up every day. Because if you're not, that's when things get worse. And you start to not like life, and you start to think that everything's against you. And exercise is key as well to that. I've been at the gym many, well, not many weeks now, like probably 2 months. I've fluctuated in and out of the gym, but now I'm fully on it. I try and go every single day, and I truly believe exercise is key. But
I think it's a bit of a lost. I agree. The times I've been happiest have been when I've been exercising.
Yeah, or like, even on stage you're exercising. Like,
I know that.
Like and it's more even going to the cinema, right? You're exercising your mind. If you're reading a book, you're exercising your mind. When you're not exercising anything on here, unless you're watching like a video that's bringing you some happiness, but scrolling through Twitter, seeing other people doing things that you want to do, you just get off that. And I'm telling myself this because I need to do it way more. And it's just.
Well, it's like the sometimes the best relationship advice comes from the single people. It's the same thing. It's like the people that sometimes are experiencing the the problem, if you like. Have the best advice on it almost, or that's sort of contrary to what I just said, isn't it? What I'm trying to say is that the people that maybe haven't actually got the answer to it sometimes are the best people to take the advice from, because they're in it with you. You know what I mean?
And you don't want to. Most of the time, you don't want to listen to that person, but you've got to listen. You've got to I will not listen to people who give me shit, but I don't have respect for them. If that makes sense. If you're, I don't read comment, I don't read any of that. I'm learning to not anymore. And I just don't allow for someone to come to me and go, "Oh, you should have done this," but then they're not doing anything themselves. And it's why tell me that? Why, if you think you can do that yourself, put it into your music and then come back to me and tell me when you've put the effort in that I put in, kind of thing. I like criticism, and I like that. I like people saying, "Oh, you could do this better," but gain the respect for that person first before just going, boom, this should be. It's a metal thing, though. It's definitely in metal. It's horrible. I'm so glad I'm just out of that, because it's "Oh, you could have done this, and guy's got a fucking 8-string Schecter and hasn't done anything because he doesn't want to do anything else. And it's fine if you have an 8-string Schecter. They have some great guitars, and they have a Cure guitar that's on one, which looks unreal. But just using that as an example, it's if you before you do anything, just sit there and wait 15 seconds and go, is this putting positivity into the world? And if it is not, then just leave it and walk away. And then put that and just do something else.
Yeah. Oh, you lost a light.
My light just went out. Wait.
That's all right. What was I going to say? Something that's happened recently that I found particularly sad to watch. And I don't think this is a particularly controversial opinion whatsoever, really, but it's just one that I've not maybe heard. There's been this whole in the news every day has been this whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing coming up. And by all accounts, from what I've heard, from what the public opinion and what the media opinion seems to be, is that she's pretty nasty from what that seems to be the thing. But even if that is true, I don't know, frankly. I mean, I've not listened to any of the stuff.
You shouldn't be memeing that. You shouldn't be memeing someone's literally meant has a problem.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
They go, "Oh, Mental Health Awareness Day," but then they share a meme of Amber Heard, and I'm like, you just don't get it, do you? You're living life from meme to meme to meme. You go in and you're not doing the things you need to do, and it's just I'm not going to watch the I don't. It's not part of my life. I hope the situation happens where it benefits the person who I can't talk about. I hope it benefits the person who's been wrong done. You can have laughs and things, but you've got to look at yourself and go, am I really doing anything here that's going to benefit anything? And if you're not, then leave it and leave it. And what I find mad is televising a thing. And America's mad in general. Whatever with that, it's just two people having this thing. Someone's done something. I don't know any of the details. I'm just not going to say anything. I'm just going to go and do my own thing and write bangers and eat scran and go to the gym and benefit myself. But people love to be distracted. Because there's all this crowd thing, on the news. This I don't read the news. Now I'm stopped and don't have it on anything, because it can't be asked, but it's a distraction that is there to distract you from the actual bad things that happen in the world. Because, of course, the internet happens all the time. Ukraine happens, right? The war in Ukraine. Do you hear about that much? No. Everyone's boom, 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 and then goes next thing, boom, 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 boom. And then it allows for other people to do horrible things without any of the world knowing, because that's how it is. People want ratings. People want this. People want money, this and that. And whatever brings them money, and negativity brings ratings in, which is every tabloid, every newspaper, boom. It's never positive, is it? And it's like, society's living in this negative way. And so many experts and people know that there's an amazing way to live life. And, the powers that be, if people are scared, that's how they stay in power. That's how it is. And, you got to take, okay, that's how it is. So I'm just going to take a step away from that and then go do my own thing.
Yeah.
Like Black Lives Matter. I'm black. My mum's black. I'm mixed race, but I'm black. And what I found so funny in that was like people saying, if you don't put a black square on your profile picture, that you're racist. And I'm like, and this is coming from people who who most likely never felt what we feel. And it's just, and then, where's Black Lives Matter now? Yeah. Where's that?
Yeah.
You can't, because it's moved on to the next thing. And it happens, it keeps going. It's like in primary school where we one year it'd be wrestlers you'd bring to school, next would be marbles, next, Mum, can I have this match attack and that? And I'm like, so many people living like they're bloody 10 years old, but in adult bodies. And it's like society, like that's why me and my friends, we just do what we've got to do. We create art, and I'm very lucky that there's a lot of people who understand how we feel, and I want to be surrounded by those people, and I want fans of Love Is Noise, and all our friends' bands. They appreciate the art and they appreciate what we believe in, and it's an environment where when you listen to us, you don't have to think about anything, or when you come to a show, you don't have to think about anything. You could, like, any person could come to our show and go, here we are, enjoy this moment, and there's no judging, nothing. And it's coming from such a judgmental metal world, it's just like, art is what keeps people going, and that's all I want Love Is Nice to be, is just to completely grow in a way that is, positive. It's not been trod, like it's not been pushed to people so much that they have to like it, which happens all the time. It's just here to be as authentic as possible, as organic as possible. And, I want to do this as a career. This is the only thing I mainly care about, is music and art. And that's all I want to do. And I'm going to do it in the right way. And it's going to be, I said this on Instagram, it's, here for the long run. And it's going to be great. I've got to think to myself, it's in it for the long run, when we're waiting. With the stuff we got right now is, with some of the craziest things that have ever happened to us. But me and myself, and all the things that I've previously done, but you just got to keep positive. I know it's not easy to be positive all the time. You don't have to be positive all the time. Like, there are times where it's fine to be sad. That's a normal thing. It's a normal thing to be sad, but it's how you get through those moments and how you keep yourself going, and it's how you look after yourself that is the best thing. And if you're surrounded by people that love you and care about you, it's the best thing. Sometimes that isn't enough, but there's many situations where I believe that if people were just nice in general at all times, and just thought about the people they were going to say the shit to, that certain things would go in a different direction. People need to think instead of just drinking and then just splurging random bollocks that the next day they don't care about. And just live life as well as you can, and think, if my children were to look back at my life, how would I be a great influence for them? And that's all I want to be. I want my children to be proud of the person I grew up to be, and they're proud of their dad, instead of looking back and going, fucking hell, I've just sprouted balls all day long and just chatted shit. It's like, what's it going to do if you're a Twitter warrior? What do you get from that? You're going to go work your job, going to go, because you hate your job, you're going to go sprout on Twitter. It's like, do something with your life instead of being controlled by people who do not care about you. Facebook don't care about you, Twitter don't care about you, Instagram don't care about you. Like, Instagram, none of them care about creators, because bringing fucking 9:16 format on Instagram. I'm like, what? Like, how many photos have you seen in 9:16 format? Like, what? It's because they're bringing reels now, and it's all about video.
Into 9:16.
Yeah, literally, it's like I hardly do, and I have to be further back to that. But it's like these decisions they obviously don't care about the people who care about their product. It's not even a product. It's like it's not even products anymore. It's life, and I hate it. And there's so much you can't do because it's controlled by these major companies. And the best thing you can do is just try not to use them as much as possible, or use them and benefit them from yourself.
Yeah, I think it's
I
difficult.
a lot there.
No, I like it. It's good. It's less of me is always good anyway.
Yeah, I do. It's just good. I like doing podcasts.
Yeah,
it's like my therapy, shall we say, and it lets me get all my shit out.
I put my hourly rate in the email, didn't I? So like, you know.
There we go.
No, it's all good. I appreciate it. It's because it's a window into your perspective, and I think that's kind of the whole reason I'm doing this. So
yeah,
you know,
and that's what people need to realize in general is that people are so vast, and there's so much to people instead of one 200 character message or one tweet. It's so fucking dumb. And people just need to read and sit and evaluate before they make any decisions, any rash decisions. In terms of music, don't judge an album on one listen. We've all been bad for that. Like, we've all listened to a record and gone, "Oh, I hate this," and then we've probably gone, "Oh, sorry, oh, this isn't as good as I thought." I saw someone say like, "Oh, my Ken's shit," and I'm like, "You've given it like what? How many listens? Right? They haven't released a song in 12 years. It has a breakdown. If you like heavy music, it's like my Chem. It's cool, right? But that's fine if you don't think of that. But what energy is that bringing to the world saying that? Like, it's not bringing anything positive to your life. If you don't like it, fair, leave it. Go listen to what you like. Come back and you're like, oh, bloody hell, I was wrong. It's fine to be wrong. It's fine to, it's okay to be wrong, because we're all human. We're not robots. If we want to be robots, just, speak to Mr. Tesla Man.
I think
he's putting no thing in my head. I'm not having that. No chance.
Yeah,
no
chance. Stuff, isn't it? Yeah. But it's the kind of thing. If in a utopian society you could know that there was no such thing as bad intentions, in theory, a chip in your brain to totally enhance everything you do would be amazing. But
obviously, but it's not going to be there for that. Like Facebook. Oh, look at this! We can talk. People. Oh, yeah.
I guarantee the first thing that comes up when you put a chip in your brain is like, have you thought about trying this?
Yeah, literally, how many films have been released about that? And I don't even care if someone thinks I'm this conspiracy theorist guy. I'm not. I just don't want. I want to be able to be free and live my life without having an eye on me at all times.
The really sad fact is, and I'm with you for the record. Sad fact is, you get left behind. It's fine if you're not, though.
It's fine if you're not. That's sorry.
No, so I was going to say the sad fact is that you get left behind, right? Like if you don't,
you do.
I mean, we're already there. If you don't have a phone, you're left behind.
Yeah, and people laugh at you. It's like, why don't you have a phone? Ha ha ha. Well, it's like that guy's probably living a great life. Jack White. Oh yeah, Jack White literally doesn't have a phone. I think it's Jack White who doesn't have a phone. Man's writing mad things. Look at him. So,
yeah, like I'm tempted to get one of the little the one thing that this sounds like it really is a terrible excuse. I want to get a little Nokia phone, but I just want it to have a QWERTY keyboard, just so that I don't have to press those fucking buttons 4 times to get a T. Like,
but the thing with society in general in terms of phones is that. So, like, for example, I was listening to a YouTuber today about hand grip, and because I need to fix up my drumming because we're about to track some new songs, and it's just that be able to go 2 seconds, boom, I can do that is amazing. That's amazing. But would I rather go to a shop and buy that DVD to watch it, put it on my TV, and know that I'll be able to sit through it for 2 hours without having inkling to get my phone out in 5 minutes?
It's less than 5 minutes. I know what you're saying, but for me, it's literally seconds.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I know there is probably so many people doing so many studies on this, But it's mad. And that we get a phone for a year, and then iPhone bring another phone out that has hardly any changes, but we rack it up, buy it.
I think,
and then I generally believe that, I don't know, I think it was proven. Whoever listens to this, if you think I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I'm sure iPhone got done. Well, Apple got done because they were making the phones before slower.
Yeah, I'm sure I've heard that. Yeah, it makes sense, doesn't it?
And if I'm wrong, do a Joe Rogan on me then and cancel me. But it's not. I don't know, but I just believe that it's. Yeah, I just really don't like this disconnect. You can probably tell I'm human at it, but
no, I'm on board with you.
It's caused me so much pain just having this little device on me.
Yeah, I do.
So much happiness, but so much nastiness. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what was I going to say? I was literally there about 5 seconds ago. I'm sure it was really important.
Just because I talked over you.
No. It was good. It's you can't tell with Zoom anyway. There's a good few seconds. But anyway, no, I remember roughly what it was. It was you're talking about the cycle of things like iPhones and that, and we've been brought into this idea of having the new thing, like every X amount of months, weeks, years.
It's like people who it's like in terms of music, people want that. Like they want something straight away, and it's because you feel like if you've not done something for 6 months, that people are going to leave you behind.
Yeah, we're feeling that as a band. So
and
we
that's
put
just
an EP out. Huh? Oh, sorry. I think I lost you for a second. Hang on. One is Zoom. I love how we're shitting on technology, and then technology was like, "Hang on a minute, I can hear you."
Like, this is amazing. This is great. Like, this is great. I'd have to have this. That's great. Just get rid of social media and let me speak to you in person, and so we can all continue to interact and learn. And be able to have conversations, because there's lots of times when I was like a few years younger, I couldn't talk, I couldn't speak, I couldn't have conversations, and I know it's great to be able to talk like messages great and all that, but it's always like something great comes and something has to ruin it, kind of thing. That's human nature. There's nothing you can do about it.
There's a rather doomsday look on it, but you got to wonder. I mean, all of this technology and art is just a reflection of the human sort of condition, isn't it? And you've got to wonder, what is this? Is this how we are? Is this just a reflection of what people are? Because we're all. I think Tim, I believe it's Tim Minchin. One of the quote from one of his songs is, "We're all just fucking monkeys in shoes," and I quite like that. It's humbling. It's funny. It's humbling.
It's very true. It's very true.
You got to wonder, like, all these things, these advanced algorithms. Do they really serve us, or are they just a reflection of?
They don't serve us at all. They are there. They are there to make money.
Yeah.
They are Instagram. The Instagram will, and they will never say it, but they will. If you're not using that app, as long as they want you to use it, they will do all they can to make you feel horrible so that you go back on that app. Yeah. I've seen it happen where my follower count goes down to make me post. I've seen it.
That's wouldn't even be the slightest bit surprising. Yeah,
I've seen it happen. I also find it mad how I say something and then I used to get a Facebook ad about what I just spoke about.
So I had a funny story I had not long ago. I was talking to my girlfriend about. She keeps saying, like, get a cat. I'm like, okay, I'd like one, but anyway, we're talking about it. I didn't Google anything. I didn't like look it up, and then literally within about 5 minutes, Uber sends me a notification saying you and your pet can travel in. I'm like, what? I don't have a pet. You slipped up, Zuck.
Mad. and these are thoughts that I have where I think, like, I just don't need to care about any of this stuff anymore. Don't need to care about it because I'm going to be long gone and they're still going to be ruining the world. And thank God there are people out there who want to change the world to be a better place. But I don't think Mr. Zuck wanted Facebook to be as big as it is, because I wouldn't want to be him running this absolute monstrosity of a company. Massive.
The only reason I maybe would be, from my perspective, to try and change it for the better. But I think, I don't know.
You can't get that big with a company and, you know, that big and not have to, you know, do some bad things to get that. Well, it wasn't the story of Zuck is that he took the company off his mate? Is that the whole thing?
Yeah, I believe he dissolved his shares, didn't he, or something? And I've
he's already like from the start already happened.
Yeah, well, his behavior literally influences billions of people, and that's not really healthy or right, I don't think. But
that is crazy. That is crazy. And the thing is, it's not the older population use Facebook now. Like a lot of people growing up don't use it, and some of the things I'm seeing are so captured. Like it's crazy. It's like I'm looking at this and like, what? Why are you sharing this? Why are you commenting on this? What's this comment going to do? Like, what's it going to bring? I've already said it. What's it going to bring into the world? I just wish people would just, you know, go outside. Like I'm telling this for me to do it. You know, go outside, have conversations. You know, exercise. Just be. You know, that's what we are. That's what our bodies need. That's what our brains need. We need to be outside. We need to take in. Obviously, have time for yourself. Play video games. Just do anything that brings you some form of joy. And if you can see yourself going to go tweet something negative, get off that and go watch a film or go read a book or go to the gym or eat some scran or go talk to your mate. Like just stop. Like and I guess Twitter also is also people, you know, because there's all the dopamine hits people get from likes and, you know, and people can feel lonely and all this, and there's very good things about all this stuff, but there's got to be a better way. But it's easy for me to say. It's got to be a better way. So
it's a good lyric.
Yeah, there we go.
Right,
that happens to me all. That happens to me all the time. I say
Never
something,
happens
I hear
to me
something. Fair. I hear something. I listen. I read something. I'm like, boom! I've got whole notes on my phone. And one thing I've realised, all I can do is change the world from what I can do, and not worrying about anything else is the best thing I've ever done. And I'm glad all these situations happened with the old band and that, because it's made me trust people less in a good way. It's like I'm going to trust the people I care about the most, and then other people, if they want to put their effort into me, if they want to show me love, I'll show them love. But if they don't, then you don't matter. It doesn't matter, because you're not affecting my life. And if you want to be negative in any way, then that's on you. You've got the problems. I hope you get them sorted, but I don't need to solve them for you. I'm just going to go write riffs, eat scran.
There's a real focus on scran here. I feel like I'm holding you up now.
I love. No, I'm not even.
I'm just taking the piss. I know.
Yeah. I completely understand that. Big up. That was good, to be fair. That was good. I love food. Food is one of my favorite things on planet Earth.
On a happier note, what's your favorite? What's the best dish you can cook?
So I make spaghetti pomodoro. I love Italian food. Pizza is one of my favorite things of all time. I can't admit,
Italian guy.
Well, fair, that's fine. And see, we're having a conversation where we're like, that's fine. I didn't have to go, fuck you.
No, I just tweeted about it. No, you're done.
But that's like, like my favorite. I think my favorite cuisine is Italian. I make a good sauce, a good tomato sauce. I make, I haven't made pasta yet, but I'll be learning. It's just while I'm on this diet, and I meal prep, so I just have beans, rice, and veg. And because I'm a veggie as well, so I'm trying to get a better diet as well in terms of that. And that'll take a few months, but when I have my days where I can eat what I like, or I kind of eat what I like every day, but I do it because pasta is so calorific values, and pasta is stupid, so I can't really have that. But when I do say one day, so this weekend I'll probably have a pizza, and I can tell when it's a good pizza. I can tell, because I will not eat a kebab shop pizza, unfortunately, because I'm that guy. I just don't. I've got to eat good pizza.
I always cook from scratch. Well, not always. Sometimes I don't have time, but it's good for you.
Yeah, it is.
It's less bad for you than it depends what you cook.
Yeah, of course. But with how fast paced the world is trying to make everything. You know, everything's got to be fast. Everything's got to be, you got to get it on, like, just, if you have the time, just, you know, it's enjoyable to cook. If you start, I've got a MasterChef apron, I just go there and I cook.
Best live up.
Yeah, literally. And you know, if I ever get a chance in St. Louis Noise, there's a show where it's ran outside and we're that big and we can have a whole festival, I'll have my own stall and I'll be cooking everyone spaghetti pomodoro or
love is gnocchi.
Yeah, there we go. See, I don't really like gnocchi, you know.
I don't like gnocchi. Sorry, I won't be there.
No, that's not my choice. Mine is my favorite pasta chef is rigatoni. That's the one. I'm
not big on pasta, I'll be honest.
But have you had good pasta?
This
though
is
before?
the thing. I think because I'm not that big on just like, you know, do it like the solid just normal pasta like penne pasta you get from Tesco. I don't think I've bothered spending money on really good pasta, and I think I've got bad memories of ravioli making me sick once. So
fair. But yeah, the you've got a proper like Italian sauce, which is very basic. You know, you've got your garlic, you've got, well, it starts with olive oil, you've got your garlic, then you've got good fresh tomatoes. If you can get Italian tomatoes, it's in like, you know, the canned, the proper ones. If there's an Italian market near you, go do that. And then hand crush them, full tomatoes, crush them.
You know what? That's not something I've done yet. I always do the tins, which maybe I need to do some.
Tins are fine, but you'll need some sugar because they're quite acidic.
Oh, I don't know. I don't like putting sugar in stuff. I avoid it where I can. I found, you know, I used to have sugar in my coffee, and I used to drink squash, like sugary squash all the time. I just cut that like cold turkey. No, just don't say cold turkey as if I've just dropped like heroin or something. It's not quite.
No, but it is. I
had headaches for a couple of days after that.
Yeah, that's true. I realised that I can't not have caffeine anymore. I tried it. Yeah. I felt horrible. So, well, sorry guys. I go to the gym.
There are much worse things.
Yes, that's true. But in terms of when we meet, I'll put some pasta in that. That'll be a vibe.
I was going to offer to cook you but you said you're veggie. I was going to offer to cook you, as Gordon would say, the most amazing. What was it? Japanese pork belly.
Fair.
But
if you can figure a way to make that vegan or veggie, fair enough.
Ask the pig.
No.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's not. But it's fine.
I'm afraid not.
No, it's fine. Like you can eat what you want. Eat whatever what makes you happy. Like, you know, that it's. I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to. I just said I'm not here to judge, but I judge a lot of things.
I think you're not here to judge
people's
well-intentioned choices.
Yes. Like I'm veggie for my own reason. But I guess people go, well, if you're talking about all this other stuff, then why are you talking about vegans and all this? But it's a different time for a different day. But in terms of social media, then I wish that could go forever. But it's also great because there's so many bands out there who've made it from social media with great, and that whole, you know, it makes bands bigger faster, which is also amazing.
It has got some positives, and I think a good sort of final takeaway is that there are. I think my perspective is whether it will happen or not is up to the future to decide, I guess. But it's not impossible that we figure it out. It's not necessarily likely. I don't know, but
I'm going to live my life thinking that I've done all I could to make the world a better place, and I've treated the people around me with as much respect as I possibly can, and I'll go to my grave knowing that a headline download. Yeah.
It's like change the world and headline download is a good bucket list. Like I'm that. Cool.
So
that's a really good place, I think.
It's fine.
But thank you, man. I really appreciate listening. And now I've got to press you for the pressing matter of and it's actually in not too long you'll have an answer to your question because I'm chatting to someone else this evening. I'm not going to tell you who it is because I don't want to influence your question that you asked.
No, it's fine.
So if you have a question for the next guest, it can be whatever you want, no limits, as you discovered by the question you were asked. Have at it. And then if you could let me know, if you can think of an artist you'd like to plug, then also that, please.
Yeah. So my question is, it's got to be pizza related. So, I'm trying to not make it too crazy if they don't eat pizza. So,
well, that's crazy in itself. So, like, you know, that you can make the not eating pizza is crazy in itself. So you can choose whatever.
Fair, yeah. Okay. I'll go. What's
Domino or Doma? Yes.
Yeah, Domino's a pizza. We'll do that. If they're Domino's a pizza. But that doesn't go with, because I eat that sometimes. It's better pizza, but it's not what I eat all the time. But okay, what's your favorite pizza place, then?
Favorite pizza place? Cool. It's a good place to start. I like these because there's been a few. The most sort of. It almost seems like the more profound the conversation, the more just like day to day the question for the next person is. It's been like you'll see that if you check out the ones before you and hopefully the ones after. You know, it always seems to be the case, which is quite funny because I half stole this idea from I don't know if you've seen the Diary of a CEO podcast. Half stolen from that. Oh, it's quite a good podcast. But anyway, he does a similar thing. But I thought, that's good. But I thought if I start the conversation, it keeps you guys connected in some way. And it's a bit like my version of Netflix's watch next episode button that just plays it for you. People go, I want to hear the answer to the next one, and they watch the next one.
Go on.
So feeding into the machine, the social media machine. Sorry.
Nah, don't worry, it's fine. We got
band.
Yes. So band that you should check out is a band called Your Misery. From the old London. Dan.
Barney.
Yeah, good. Yeah, Barney, fucking legend. Good band, great band. Sound like old Sleeping Sirens with some breakdowns there, some good choruses. Absolute legends, amazing people. We'll play shows with them. Just check them out. Your Misery just released a new tune, and it's good to have good people making bands. That's all I care about.
Nice.
One thing I do want to say is just, whoever listens to this, just know you're not alone. In life, everyone's here. If you need anything at all, just give me a message at all, anytime. That's the one thing being addicted to Instagram is that I'm on it all the time. So if you need anything, make sure you speak to people around you. You're not alone at all. And even if it's at a show you're at one of ours, just come have a chat. I literally will talk to you all night long. So here to help anyone I can possibly help with whoever hears this, wherever our music gets to, and big up everyone.
Amazing. Big up everyone.
Also new music and that, and I can't wait to.
I was going to say,
get it out
if
there.
you want a quick plug, now's your chance.
There's no plug because we're just going.
I mean, in a good way, not like
But it's like you. The reason why the wait for new music has been so long is because it's just lots of good things happening. You can probably think of it, the things that why things take so long. But there's a few things on what we're going to release that are bonkers, and no one would expect it. And as you say, I don't do things that people expect. No one will expect it at all.
There you go. But I expected that, so
expected. There you go. That's the best thing. Go on.
Cool. Wicked. Well, thank you again, and I'll let you know what the next person says.
No problem. So that'd be cool. Thanks, man.
Wicked.
Legend.
Awesome. Cheers.
My guy.